An artist's perspective on Vietnam. I'm Jill Horner. This is Comcast Newsmakers. With me is Major General Clark Martin. He's chairman of the New Jersey Vietnam Veterans Memorial Foundation. Thanks so much for being with us.
Nice to be here. Thanks.
When we talk about remembering Vietnam, there are many ways to do that, and you have an upcoming fundraiser that takes an artist's look at Vietnam. But this is just one of the ways that you work to address the legacy of Vietnam. You have a memorial foundation, you have a museum. Talk to us a little bit about what we'll see when we get off of exit 116 on the Parkway.
Well, our memorial is a series of 366 granite panels, circular. Each panel is one day of the year, and on those panels are the names of more than 1,500 New Jerseyans who died in Vietnam.
In addition to that, you also have a museum.
We do, and we are the only museum of its kind in the nation. And our museum, sometimes for Vietnam vets, it's a little bit painful because on the wall, we have the chronology of the Vietnam War going back to the French and Dien Bien Phu in 1954. And above that, we have the chronology of what was going on in American society. And when you get to 1968, that's when some people just don't want to relive those memories of how society treated returning veterans.
But an important history for us as citizens today, and many school children visit this museum. But let's talk a little bit about some upcoming fundraisers and events that you're actually having, because you no longer receive state funding, so these are important for you as an organization. One is an artist's perspective on Vietnam. This is opening on September 28th. Talk to us about this.
Well, we have two types of fundraisers. The traditional fundraisers, which raise, like our golf outing, $70,000 or more, hopefully. The purpose of those fundraisers is to keep the door open and the lights on. As you mentioned, we lost state funding. We're not the only nonprofit to lose funding. Everybody's in the same boat, especially the Battleship New Jersey. But our state funding used to be $250,000 a year, and now we have to offset that loss with new revenues. At the same time, we have what we like to think of as strategic fundraising, raising enough money to endow the place so that we can become bigger and better and more appealing. And that is the very first fundraiser that's strategic in its scope, is this Unsung Heroes art exhibit. Famous artist named Gregory Perillo from Staten Island was upset with the way Vietnam veterans were treated by society. He witnessed this firsthand on Wall Street in New York. And later in life, he decided to create some oil paintings of Vietnam scenes, and he painted more than 100. And one day last year, he called Bill Lindemann, our executive director, and says, "I got some paintings, do you want them?" And we picked up more than 100 paintings, and they're fabulous. And we're reproducing them digitally, and we'll be able to sell them. And he's going to be at this showing, and he's going to autograph them. And we think that if we do this right, those paintings will be enough to start our endowment.
In addition to that, you have a variety of other upcoming fundraisers, and we can visit your website for all of the specifics. You have an American Legion Riders Ride for the Memorial. That's Sunday, October 7th. You have a car and motorcycle show on September 30th. In addition to all of this, you have your annual gala, and this is happening on October the 12th. You're honoring Joe Grano. Quickly tell us about him.
Joe Grano is an amazing person, and he is our guest of honor at one of our typical fundraisers, trying to keep the lights on and the door open. But his story is just amazing. His autobiography is You Can't Predict a Hero. It's about him in Vietnam, getting booby-trapped, almost losing his life, almost losing a limb, coming home, scarcely able to walk. There's one part of the book where he's upstairs in his house in Connecticut, in his parents' house, thinking he's trying to go down the stairs. It takes him 4 hours, and then he turns around and 4 more hours just to get back up the stairs. And he got a job, one of the few jobs I've ever offered to him, in that condition. He got a job with Merrill Lynch, and he was fabulously successful at Merrill Lynch, became the president. Then he went on to Payne Weber, UBS, fabulously wealthy, successful Vietnam vet.
All right, stories of triumph. Thanks so much for being with us.
Sure.
We've been talking with Major General Clark Martin. I'm Jill Horner.